feel more overwhelmed and scared, and if this is even possible.
It's 4:41 a.m. Just a little bit of a crash out that I'm having. Kara. To re-export them, to convert them, to put them in this video, when all I needed to do was move them out of the fucking folder.
I was very good at cramming things at the very last minute, so what if I just crammed as much as I can within the next 7 hours? So it has come to my attention that it would probably be for the best if I actually made concrete goals and milestones for this endeavor of making 5K a month within 3 months without a 9-to-5. So let's deal with that, shall we? 2 weeks ago, I posted the first episode of this series, wherein I gave a basic rundown of what things I'm going to be trying in order to achieve this lofty goal of calling myself self-employed and basically achieving some kind of financial freedom using only side hustles and possibly passive income streams. And I called it a plan, but for the most part, what I had outlined, like the little Kanban board that I made, was really more of a to-do list and like a task list of things I need to do to get started. But I guess I didn't really lay out any kind of goals or milestones or ways to track my progress and achievements that I really want to hit. So last night, I spent some time creating a bit of a roadmap for how I feel the next 3 months, or rather at this point, 2.5 months should look like. And so that honestly made me feel more overwhelmed and scared, honestly, of what this whole plan is and if this is even possible. Like, it really gave me a really strong feasibility check, and maybe I should have done this way sooner in the plan, but yeah, it's kind of looking rough. It's a lot of stuff to get done. Like, as I was going through what I wanted my checkpoints to be for month 1, I then realized that I'm already halfway through month 1 at this point, because episode 1 was the first 2 weeks, and now I am on week 3, and I really have not made much progress. But I'm hoping that laying it out this way kind of kicks me into gear and lights a fire under my ass. But unfortunately, I am the queen of procrastination, and therefore that will be a struggle. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's good to lay out like your key performance indicators. These are, project management 101 of things that are indicating that we're hitting success and that we're actually moving towards the goal. And while I could have made like my goals something monetary in value, I actually preferred to make these goals more actionable items and like reliant on things that I can actually control and do, as opposed to it being tied to monetary value when I can't really control like what deals I might be able to make or like how much I'd be making from each specific thing. Like, it matters more that I'm putting them out into the world. I am placing my bets out into the universe, buying the lottery ticket, as opposed to making my goals based off of hopefully winning the lottery ticket, so to speak. Metaphors. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's where we're gonna start this episode. I don't know how deeply into these goals we'll get to. I was trying to think about my final milestones, like what are the big goals that I want to be hitting at the end, and then very quickly got overwhelmed thinking about like how much of a reach some of these are and how I guess worried I am that I might not hit them, but also who cares? I should be doing it scared. Again, this is an experiment and it's fine. It's okay to fail. I am allowed to fail. And so I should dream big. And I should set big goals. Here are the goals that I set for the end of this challenge. So by the end of 3 months, these are things that ideally I will have achieved. One, that I have an LLC filed for my business that encompasses all of these things that I'm making, and that any forms of income are going through this LLC, and that I am paying myself out through it as an employee of that company. Have all of the associated and related business accounts, websites, and different systems and things set up for it. Another goal, obviously, by the end of these 3 months is to have released all 7 episodes. So I have 6 regular bi-weekly updated episodes planned for this series, and the final episode for this soft hustle 3-month challenge. And ideally also by the end of this have a sustainable content calendar and posting schedule for all of the short form content that I will be managing as well. I would love to be monetized on YouTube by the end of this. The minimum requirements for that are to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. It would be really amazing to hit something like, I don't know, 10,000 subscribers at least by then. But if I can get monetized, I'll be real happy about that. Okay, and then other than that, by the end of these 3 months, I actually would also like to have a mailing list. I really think, for me personally, I would enjoy making a mailing list. I find that that feels like one of the methods of content creation that I think I could sustainably create more regularly and enjoy as well. That might look like a weekly mailing list or a newsletter to share little updates and my progress on this challenge possibly. So that's really all in terms of content creation as like that sub niche. On the other realms for UGC, I would like to be securing a relatively consistent number of UGC deals every month, or at least pitching consistently to UGC brand deals, and hopefully be securing a percentage of those regularly. I would like to be seeing sizable freelance work either within my network of people that I think I can help out and provide services with, or to have expanded to new clients and have like online digital clients that I have met through other forms of outreach. I should, by the end of these 3 months, even sooner, have a fully operating print-on-demand store with my best friend and partner who's in the Philippines, that we are operating steadily with regularly scheduled product launches and all of the marketing and social media to go with that. And so that should be its own fully fleshed out operation, and hopefully already seeing customers, and to be seeing some kind of steady, either consistent growth over the amount of time that's been built out for, or seeing consistent income. Well, no, it should be seeing consistent income by then. I keep trying to curb my expectations to be reasonable with myself, but like, no, I need to dream big. And then also have an operating digital store with all of my digital product templates. So like basically by the end of these 3 months, I want each of those pillars to have a tangible outcome, result, and thing that is built to be making money, and ideally is already making money. I'm trying to keep it reasonable right now. I don't know how these videos are gonna turn out. I don't know how they're gonna perform, if the algorithm will be nice to me, and so we don't know. And I am the kind of person who tries to think of everything right at the beginning, and so it's really hard for me to like verbally intend to shoot for the stars when I know what a reasonable outcome should and might look like. I don't know, I'm just not a very big dreamer. I feel like I should be though, but anyway, the actual real bottom line goal that actually matters here, that I have in all caps, is by the end of these 3 months, I want to be able to call myself self-employed confidently, no ifs or buts, just I am self-employed, and to be able to confidently explain to whoever asks me exactly what I do, who I'm doing it for, and why I'm doing it. And so yeah, by the end of these 3 months, I'm hoping to find basically my personal mission statement and having a super clear direction for myself, and be able to have a super concise and like straightforward self-pitch, because that's, I feel like, the one thing that most people kind of already have to start with, and I kind of struggle with because I identify with just so many things, but also identify with kind of nothing at all at the same time. But anyway, yeah, so my bottom line goal really is to be able to call myself fully self-employed and be able to stand firm on that, and not worry or care about the judgment of others of that being like an unconventional route because I've made it work for me. You know? It's just a very like feeling goal, but ultimately that is actually what I want to get out of this, because the amount of money I make matters only to a certain extent. It matters enough where I can pay rent and I can feed myself and I can survive. But past that, it's all just about freedom and having authority over my own schedule, my own life, the things that I get to do. And yeah, that's really what this is all for. And so in reality, that's the main goal. From those main big goals, I kind of broke it down to the key stages that I should be at the end of each month, and go from there. Basically, last night when I was coming up with all of these things, I really realized that I've not made progress on any of these in weeks 1 and weeks 2 because I didn't even come up with this plan yet by then. And so really, I actually only have 2 weeks to get all of these things done, and that felt like a lot. So I then spiraled into trying to think of, okay, what do I need to do on week 3 and week 4, and week 3 being right now, and I'm already like practically halfway through it, and how much I need to get done in the next like 3 days, which also means I have to not be a perfectionist about how I am filming for this video. Just film what I can, share what I can, when I can, and not think too hard about it, which is also really difficult. So if this video seems really chaotic, that is why, but we're trying our very best here. I really am a constant oversharer. I'm so sorry, but info dumping, like I don't know what is important information, and I feel like I need to be really authentic and share what's going on in my brain. So hopefully you guys like this and think this is maybe relatable. I don't know. Oh God, sorry, I didn't mean to shake the whole thing up. So today, this morning, it's no longer morning actually, it's past 12. I slept in a little bit because I went into a freaking spiral last night when I started doing this goal thing, and then planning out what I actually have time to do for the rest of this week. And then that made me realize that I have to do a ton of bulk editing for the short form content so that I can schedule post everything for the next couple of weeks, because the next 2 weekends are going to be really busy and I won't be able to get any real work done because my brother is graduating from high school this weekend. So we have to be out there, and so I really won't be able to get work done because I'm going to be with family doing a ton of stuff. And then the following weekend, our brother is gonna come here to Philly to like visit and like hang out with us. Basically, family things are gonna make my schedule a little bit wonky, and so I'm gonna be losing quite a couple of days of productive time next week. And so I need to get as much as I can done now, especially in terms of content creation, and just pre-film and pre-edit a bunch of stuff and schedule them, because I just really won't have time to do anything, but also while still making progress with all of the other things. But yep, I have a call already scheduled with my friend for later this week for Thursday, so we'll get to work on the print-on-demand store by then. And so I need to work on all of the individual things right now while I have the time. So on today's agenda is filming this bit for episode 2, creating some of my short form scripts and recording some voiceovers for that, and hopefully doing some edits if I can. And then I also need to make a thumbnail for last week's video. Oh, and I'm also actually teaching a private lesson today, this afternoon. And so I actually probably need to clean my apartment for that. And then I need to finish the final touches of editing episode 1. That's where we're at. That's what's gonna be happening today. Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess, record a bunch of voiceovers now. I think that's what I need to do.
It's 4:41 a.m. and I have not yet gone to bed. I wanted to turn this on to film this little bit of a crash out that I'm having. Well, I guess it's done now, figured it out, but I just spent the last 4 hours, 4 editing a 50-second reel. Oh, that's not a good start for how the rest of this is gonna go, but it was the first introductory reel that was supposed to go, well, it's on it now, but it's supposed to go on my short form account dedicated to the Soft Hustle series. I was intending to spend a couple of hours bulk editing several videos, but I only ended up editing one, and that was mainly because I decided to use CapCut, which I was already debating and already knew was probably going to be a bad idea, but I went with it anyways, and now I'm confirming that I shall not be using CapCut anymore. If you don't know, CapCut is this video editing app that was created by the same creators as TikTok, and it's very clearly made for that. I'm pretty sure most people know CapCut. But I, for a while, was using it as my short form editor, and I would edit my long form videos on DaVinci Resolve, just because I felt like that made the most sense. Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing that now because CapCut has gone down the rabbit hole of trying to do so many money grabbing and getting you to upgrade to Pro for most, if not all, of their features. What I do really hate about how they do their Pro features though is that they actually do let you use them in the app. Like functionally, you can press the button, it'll do the thing. And the only thing they're blocking you from is exporting the video. So basically, you can spend a really long amount of time fully editing your video after accidentally using a Pro feature and then not be able to export that video after you've just wasted a ton of time and effort and energy on it. And yeah, that's basically what happened to me. And so I was stubborn enough to not want to lose any of that progress. And so I did a little bit of workarounds to try and get that new version file open on the older version so that I could export it for free. But then that messed with some things, so I had to manually edit every single caption that was already in that video. So that added more time to it. I had to change the fonts and whatever, but we got there eventually. I just had a phone call with my friend back home in the Philippines who I am collaborating with to build a print-on-demand store. We got some things done today, even though we didn't have a very explicit plan for our meeting. It was just really a catch-up call, but we also were able to narrow down, I think, which store platform we want to use. So I think we're going to be going with Printful, actually, for a variety of reasons, but we think that it will cover the basis that we care about more. Just as a whole, their platform is way more transparent about, it's very upfront about pricing and what you need to expect when using certain things. And also, yeah, we kind of narrow down how we want to start. I think we're going to be starting with embroidery designs on products, and that'll be probably our first set of product launches, just because that seems a lot more exciting and we like the quality of how it looks so far. Printful also has actual reviews on their listings, which is really helpful to see the quality of the work and what people are receiving. And then we started brainstorming some of our store brand names. We did not land on anything just yet. Kindle, Kermit, Kara, Spaces, Kara. What does it say in English? Sorry, I can't read.
Eagle.
Oh, okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
So that felt good to get done today, and then we'll see for further progress. I think in the meantime, individually, my friend is going to be working on some more designs, and I'm going to work on more market research to see what the competition might look like, what niche and things we want to keep in mind for our marketing and how we're going to approach launching the store and whatnot. For the rest of today, I have some more short form content that I need to get ready and prepare to put out. Yeah, I sent out the survey for my next round of pop-up workshops for teaching dance yesterday, so that's out there. Hopefully I can get a schedule put together for that soon, within the next week. Yeah, lots of stuff to do today, but today is a work from home day, so okay, so I
I spent quite a lot of time messing around on Canva because I finally got Canva Pro. I'm on a 30-day free trial right now, but I'm probably gonna keep it and pay for it. I've been messing around with some brand packages and seeing what alternative content I want to put on my Instagram. And then for the past couple of hours, I've actually been watching some UGC resources to lay out the plan, basically, because I have some B-roll shots of some products, but I actually need to script some videos to make a portfolio out of. Actually also did spend some time editing another short form video earlier, but I've been doing them one at a time, not really bulk editing them. So I'm gonna try and get a couple more of those done and ready by tomorrow so that I have them for posting over the next week, because basically I'll be out of the house and out of town for the whole weekend and all the way until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So that's quite a bit of time, and I want to have all the content that I need ready. So I know I said last night I would write some scripts for some UGC mock-up videos, but I ended up not doing that. I ended up choosing sleep. Right now, I'm trying to edit the behind the scenes video for the gnarly dance video, but a ton of the clips that I have as like B-roll were from my friends who were filming with their iPhones, and for some reason my version of DaVinci Resolve does not support the file types that came out of that, which were .mov files, but I wonder if it's because I have a NVIDIA processor. I don't know how these things work. So right now I'm downloading this video converter so that I can change the file types. Hopefully the free version will be enough and that I don't need to get a paid version of this. God damn it! There's a trial watermark. I knew it! You're gonna ask me for paid for... I don't get it. I feel like DaVinci Resolve should be able to support mod, especially for free. That's so weird. How the hell do people with iPhones make videos? This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I realized I was being a little bit dumb, and I forgot that I also have CapCut on my computer, and apparently CapCut does support the mod files because iPhones. So basically I'm just double editing the videos, like I'm putting all of the videos into CapCut and then exporting it into an MP4 so that I can edit with it. Hi, I'm dumber than I thought. My DaVinci Resolve can take the mod files fine, they just didn't like the folder that it was in. I can't believe I spent so much time converting shit and then putting them on CapCut to re-export them, to convert them, to put them in this video, when all I needed to do was move them out of the fucking folder! I wonder if it's because the folder name has like emojis on it, because it was from the Google Photos folder that where we shared all of the clips with each other, and I just downloaded that. Here, look at this. Let me explain. So like, there's this folder, right? And that's where all of the mod files are, and when I click it, nothing exists, and that's why I couldn't import the mod files. If we look at the folder out here, it's here, and it has that little devil emoji, yup, right there. And so if you go in there, all of the videos and pictures are in here, and it's a ton of iPhone videos and stuff. But I just moved a couple out to see what would happen, and they're now up here, and now they show up. The mod files show up. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, man. I for some reason believe that like there was something about like iPhone videos that it wasn't happy with when it came to editing, because I feel like the last time in one of the vlogs that I was editing before, I had some clips for my sister that I couldn't use, but it might have just been the pictures. And it might have been that I couldn't use the pictures on like Canva or something. Honestly, I don't know, but I'm the stupid one here. I'm just dumb, and I didn't try the most basic thing of, well, why would I even think of moving it out of the folder? I don't know, it just looked like it didn't work, and now it does. Yay! So I did all that for nothing, but hey, we learned something new today. That's how it's always gonna be. Okay, so I actually spent the last 4 hours editing, more or less, but I gotta go now. I am going to this, I think it's a pop-up art
showing. It's an event that is hosted every year by my old boss who I used to work for when I worked at a restaurant. It's this event for queer creatives and artists to kind of present their work, and it's just like a vibe. And then I may or may not try to make it to a social dance at the studio after that. We'll see, because I may not have time for both, but we'll try. Okay. An appointment for legal backup donor. Basically, I thought I was gonna get some more work done today. I had another Red Cross backup appointment today, so I thought I would get like an hour and a half of work there on my laptop remotely. However, then I ended up getting used as a donor, so I ended up having to donate blood. That was like a 3-hour process of them extracting white blood cells and plasma from my bloodstream, so they returned the rest of the blood. I was not able to do any work. I did watch a couple of episodes of the new season of Black Mirror finally, because that's been on my to watch list and I haven't gotten around to it. So, and I also made $500 from that appointment, so I get the standard $150 for being a backup donor and an additional $350 for actually donating blood. That does mean, however, that I cannot donate or sign up as a backup donor for the next 8 weeks, which means that source of income is gonna be put on hold. So it's a little bit of a loss, because I can do the backup position a little bit more frequently and make like $150 about every 2 weeks. But to be fair, I guess it comes out similar, but I don't know. Clearly, I am tired and delirious. I need to shower and probably go to bed. It's super early for that, like the sun is still out, but if I go to bed really early tonight, maybe, hopefully, I'll wake up really early tomorrow and then my sprint can start much earlier. So we are on the last day of week 4 of this 3-month challenge, and I'm really behind. I thought I'd get more done in week 3 than I actually did, and it turns out week 4 was pretty much a bust. And so all I really have is today, and later tonight I have a dance event that I am organizing, and so I can't miss. So I thought it might be fun, but honestly probably stressful, to do an extreme sprint, because I have about 7 hours before I need to leave my house. And so what if I just crammed as much as I can within the next 7 hours in order to maybe possibly hit more of the first month milestones and goals that I set out for myself by the end of today, because it'll still count towards month 1 or week 4, I guess. This is a very chaotic choice, but according to my track record in school, I was very good at cramming things at the very last minute. So maybe this is what I needed all along. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try and be very responsible about not getting distracted and not going on social media and not going on my phone And I'm going to attempt to do this Pomodoro style. So I'm gonna set up timers and stuff for like 25-30 minutes at a time to do a certain task. If I end up getting into the flow of something, I'll stick with that same task for a little bit longer. But if I'm struggling to get it, going, then I'll switch and pivot and move on to the next thing. And we'll see if that strategy works. I don't really know if I've ever done it successfully before, but we'll attempt. But first, I'm gonna steal a little bit of time from my 7 hours by having food because I woke up late. I slept in. My energy levels are all out of whack because I just donated a bunch of white blood cells and plasma yesterday. So I think that's my body's way of recovering a little bit. But that's okay. We'll be fine. We'll do what we can today. And yeah, I'll take you guys along for that. I don't know, this is gonna be a mess. We'll see. I said last night I would go to bed really early because I think I did a check-in, but your girl did not. I think I filmed that at like 8 o'clock and I still went to bed at like midnight. Okay, to be fair, I did some things for the dance event that's happening tonight. So it wasn't all for nothing. Like I wasn't just doom scrolling till I fell asleep, but I still felt like it would have been nice to get those extra 4 hours of something. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, so the time is 11:52, so it's almost 12. So I already wasted my first hour, but I ate food. So on the list of things that I said I would get done within my first month were to release episodes 1 and 2. Episode 2 is in the process of being filmed. It counts, whatever. I said I would post at least 3 reels or short form posts onto my Instagram for starter steps. I posted twice in 1 week, and that's it. I might make some text-only posts to fill in, but I also am thinking of changing the format of how I post my videos on there and actually pivot from the faceless and make them more like in-the-moment things. But I'm also honestly not sure. I said by the end of this month I would finish my UGC portfolio. Not a lot of progress has been done there, so actually I think that might be the first task I'm going to start with. Part of my milestones list still is to secure and execute at least 2 projects or clients freelancing. Well, technically I got 1, but I haven't done much of any other work in terms of advertising or marketing myself or getting on any other freelance platforms just yet to find any other clients. But I don't know if that's something that I can actually get done within today. So that might have to get bumped to next week. Make 3 digital products. That's not happening, but I'll make at least 1 today. Hopefully, that'll be part of my task list for today. And then get all of the materials needed in a first product launch for our print-on-demand store. That also isn't happening, but that's a little bit more reliant on the collaboration with my friend. So we did make good progress on like the branding and visuals and like planning side of that. So that's just gonna have to wait for our next follow-up with her. I'd say we're at like a 20% success rate so far. Isn't great. But anyway, I'm gonna hit my first session. I'm gonna work on some UGC scripts and make sure I have the footage that I need for that. So I took some B-roll clips of like product shots for some of the items that I'm thinking of making UGC mockups for, but because I didn't really write any scripts beforehand, they are just that. They're just product shots. So I need to come up with these short scripts and actually do something with that and make some variations of them. I think it shouldn't be too hard if I actually focus on it for once, because I keep letting it be like this the ideals will come and take notes whenever I feel like it and blah 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 method, which just isn't productive. So I'm just gonna do it. Wish me luck. Okay, so I just spent the last hour and a half writing up 3.5, 4-ish UGC scripts. It took some time because I did a little bit of research and scanning through the brand websites. So these are just products that I happen to have at home, but I specifically want my UGC content to be focused on sustainable and eco-friendly products, as well as travel stuff and or tech and innovation type things, just because I feel like those are things that speak the most to me. Anyway, yeah, okay, now, so scripts are written. I have some product B-roll. I'm gonna take a little bit more right now so that I have all the content that I need. I'm also probably going to record some of the voiceovers. I don't think I'm going to do any of the editing of these mockups today. Maybe I'll work on that tomorrow, just because I think I need to move on to something else other than UGC today, because it is almost 2 o'clock. And so I have a little over 4 hours left in this speed run sprint of doing what I can. Just recording some voiceovers. Here are 5 reasons to get a clean canteen TK wide insulated water bottle. Reasons why you should get a clean canteen TK wide insulated water bottle. 5 reasons to get a clean canteen TK wide insulated water bottle. Okay, now I'm done. So I just filmed additional B-roll clips for the UGC videos that I had just scripted. I also just recorded 4 separate voiceovers for these scripts. And so basically that's essentially all of the material I need to edit these videos. I think I might need to do a couple of screenshot clips, but I'll do that when I'm editing these. UGC progress has been made. Wow, amazing. I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a creating break and instead switch to a learning, information gathering, consumption process. So I'm gonna finally finish the Mini-DBM Bootcamp that I got from Dea ages ago that I still haven't finished. I'm basically on the last leg of it. What really got me stuck in there is that she has this like workbook of activities that you're supposed to do, and I pretty much got held up in the recruiting or in the hiring section because you had to like write a mock form, like application form, and me being the type A overachiever academic that I am, I really wanted to like put a lot of effort in that and do it correctly, and then I very quickly got overwhelmed and put it on the back burner because there were no real consequences to not doing it, and so that kind of led to me just simply not touching the course anymore at all. However, the last section, the 3rd day, is about automations and Zapier, which is a tool that I've been meaning to learn for a very long time, so I actually really want to get to that one. So I'm just gonna skip over the hiring manager part and deal with the automations first, just because I want to check that off my list and get that bootcamp done. It's actually very interesting. So it's only a $7 course, and it should only take you 5 days to do. Me being me, took me a month, actually more. It's probably closer to 2 months now, but she does have a little gift at the end if you submit your workbook. And from what I can tell from other people's posts, it's probably just like a little cute sticker or postcard in the mail. And I would love to receive it and I would love to submit my workbook, but I'm going to take the pressure off myself and not have to do it to perfection and just get it done so that I can get that done today. I am logged in and yep, I'm like halfway through the thing. I actually also bought her starter kit, which was a little bit more expensive. I think it was like $27, $37, which just like has some digital resources. So she has a portfolio template in there and all that kind of stuff. I can't believe I've been putting this off for so long. I actually had next steps here. See, this is what I get. Okay, anyway, I was on superpower number 2, which is hiring. Spoilers, if anyone cares. But technically, I did finish this one. I just didn't mark it complete because I didn't feel complete with it. But I'm gonna move on to the next lesson and get this done. I finally finished the Mini-DBM Bootcamp. I set my workbook, and that's done. And I also just did a quick run through of all of the resources that I got through the DBM starter kit that I purchased separately. And that just contains like a lot of resources, so lists and contractor templates, that will help with starting up a DBM business or freelancing model for anyone, then I'm gonna have to work on filling them up with some projects and stuff like that for my portfolio so that I can start using that to pitch to future clients. But I'm gonna put a pause on that task and let that carry over into next week as well. So it is now 4:48 p.m., which means I essentially have about an hour, maybe an hour and a half left before I need to leave for the dance event tonight. Which means I need to start wrapping up whatever it is I've got done today. So I think the last thing on my to-do list today that I would love to get tackled to count towards month 1, week 4, episode 2, whatever quantifying unit of time we're using to measure this in, is to make my first digital product. I'm going to work on that. And specifically, the idea is to make a multi-income stream tracker. There's tons of budget tracker templates online already. There's some for Notion. I'm sure there's some for Google Sheets and whatnot. I currently use Google Sheets for my own self-employment income tracking right now, but I don't really love it. It just isn't how I would like for it to work. So I'm thinking that I might use Airtable for this one, just because it has the more complex table stuff as Google Sheets might, but it also has cleaner form integrations, I believe, and it acts more like a database as opposed to just a table. Because I love Excel, I love Google Sheets, don't get me wrong, but I want something that is a little bit more conducive and enticing to being regularly updated and to putting in like individual entries and inputs that doesn't involve messing with the whole table, especially if it's something that I want to kind of be scalable or like shareable for other people to use. So I'm gonna work on that. I just actually want to make it so that I can personally use it, and then I'll just put that up and make that available for purchase. So okay, so I have an hour and a half to get this done. It probably won't get uploaded or posted within today, but at least I'll have a product that hopefully works. Because I'm doing this on Airtable, which is a platform that I am not as already familiar with. Like, I've used it some amount, but I've not actually dived deep into it. So I'm also going to be learning some things about Airtable. This looks an awful lot like Excel, but I promise this is Airtable. I basically just transferred over my existing income and expense sheets from my Google Sheets into Airtable and basically use that as a guide to figure out which fields I actually care about. And then I created a corresponding form for this. I wish I had an easier way. Well, I'll figure out how to put like a button somewhere where I can get to this form, because this is like the editing form of it. But basically, it's a form that has all of the fields for that table so that you can input whether it's an income or an expense transaction, and it'll add another value or row into the table. And then the table has a couple of views for an income filter and an expense filter. I am out of time now to actually make it all fancy and nice and make it like an actually useful template that somebody would purchase. But I'm planning on adding a interface view. So basically a summary catch-all format that'll like create summaries for like your monthly expenses and your monthly income, your annual income and expenses, and then like taxable filters, so that specify if it's a business or a personal expense, and then it'll use those categories to do that. This will probably get a little bit more complicated fast, but for the time being, this is all I could really get done because I was also messing with Airtable for honestly the first time. And it is now 6:15, so I need to get ready to go gather all of my stuff together and head on out so that I don't miss the bus and I'm not late for this event. So I guess that's where we're ending this episode. I didn't really plan out filming this video as much as I did the last one. The next 2 weeks, or the next episode, is going to cover weeks 5 and 6, which is going to be the start of month 2. Again, I didn't really hit all of the goals that I said I would for the first month. Yeah, kind of maybe disappointing results that within the first month, the only sources of income I've really been able to use are the ones that I had already set up before I even started this challenge. So that being donating my time and now blood to the Red Cross and teaching dance lessons. Although my private lessons actually only started after I started this challenge. So that's been a little bit of something. They aren't scalable. Like, I can only teach as many as one I have time for, and to as many as people are willing to ask me to teach them. And that's a little bit limited based on like my experience and skill level in the dance. Even if I maxed out on both of these things, I would not be hitting my goal anywhere close to it, really. So I do really need to ramp up the things that are more scalable. I did actually also last night come across another creator. One of the things that she's been making the most of, I think, is one, affiliate products and like the Amazon influencer program, and also mystery shopping. I'm gonna look into it as a potential option. I guess we're still discovering new things as we're going through this, which is pretty interesting. Another thing that's on my list is Pinterest affiliate marketing. A friend of mine who is also starting her content creation era has started to put some of those up. That's also something that I may or may not be experimenting with. And yeah, hopefully the next episode will have way more progress. I kind of like this setup that I did today of kind of like sprinting and doing as much as I could within 6 hours. I might do this thing again because I felt way more productive, and I actually got things done with that high pressure situation. So as bad as it is to still be cramming and procrastinating outside of school, clearly that is still a way that works. So, but for right now, I think I have to wrap this video up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this isn't too boring as a series, and that if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything you'd like me to know, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to get your insight and your opinion on this whole thing. I wish I could say that I've done so much more within the first month, but I don't really have an excuse. I've just been kind of overwhelmed by all of it, and I've had a lot of moments getting stuck in my head and overthinking a lot of things, and then resorting to doom scrolling and so on and so forth. But I also don't want to give myself too much of a hard time for that, because we are trying to avoid overly grinding through this. I'm giving myself grace. It's okay. I was out of town, took a little bit of a vacation, had some family stuff, and so if that meant I didn't get as much work done this week, that's fine. Hopefully this makes someone out there who might also be stressing and worrying about getting stuff done and not feeling like they're getting through things fast enough, and that they're not doing enough in such a short period of time, to realize that, hey, it's okay. It's all fine. The world isn't going to end just because you didn't get every single thing off of your to-do list checked off. I hope you have a wonderful day and week and life, etc. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.